Well, thank you. It's an honor to be here today. I've been in this room, in this building before, but I've never really been at the podium in this room before. So it's an opportunity for me. A little bit about me. I'm a lifelong Alaskan. I was born in Alaska. My father was in the Alaskan Scouts in World War II in the Aleutians, and my mother was involved in building the Alcan Highway. So I come from a background of building. I'm a builder. I'm a carpenter. I'm a Christian. I'm a husband of 40 years. I'm a father of 4, grandfather of 5, and we have a background a little different than perhaps a typical politician. Just because we went off to law school, my wife and I, First Lady and I, and we had a law firm for the last 30 years, dealing mostly in oil and gas law. Sometimes I'm introduced as a former carpenter. I always object. I am a carpenter. I'm a journeyman carpenter. That never changed. My role is as running for governor was a bit of a different path. I ran once as a Republican in a closed primary. I learned the challenges of that. A lot of my supporters and friends could not vote for me. When I did it a second time after that, I said, I want everybody to vote for me. I just felt that was not right. A little bit different situation that we had is on the campaign. The Democratic candidate that won the primary, Byron Mollott, a well-known Alaska leader, and then we had the incumbent of 6 years in the Republican. So I was a party running, and then I was I was in the independent role. During the campaign, in the debates, as we traveled the state, the incumbent didn't really participate in a lot of the debates, and so the Democratic candidate and myself got to know each other really well, and we finally discovered that we actually liked our state a whole lot more than we liked politics. So we did something that you don't typically do in politics. We combined our campaign, and he joined me as a lieutenant governor and stepped away from his role, and we ran as a team, and we did that in the last couple of months. And it was, it's something that Alaskans were urging us to do. They would listen to us talk about in the campaign and the debates. At one debate in Nome, I remember very well. He got done answering a question first, and he got done. I said, I agree with candidate Mollott, and he did the same with me on the next question. So it was time for us to make that decision, and we did. It was very, very popular. Our numbers soared, and it brought in some money from outside as a result to make sure that we went out successful. People were sort of horrified that a couple of guys running as independents and combining our campaign were actually going to beat a 6-year incumbent, a Republican incumbent, and we did. So we did it a very different way. As a result of that, we have a administration that is rather unique. In the past, in our situation in Alaska, the lieutenant governor and the governor are kind of elected separately in the primary, and there's sort of an arranged marriage, I'll say. We were able to select each other, and as a result of that, we have a very different working relationship. He's still a registered as a Democrat. I'm an independent, and our administration. People look at our cabinet and they look around the table at 25 cabinet members, and they see a Republican, they'll see a Democrat, they'll see a Libertarian, they'll see a independent, and they'll go, what are you people? And I said, we're Alaskans. We're a group of Alaskans making every decision with what's best for Alaska. We don't necessarily have to check any initials anywhere. We don't pay attention to that. We just make those decisions of what we think is the best. What it does, it brings to the table sort of a diversity of discussion that you wouldn't normally have, because it's different views from all different walks of life. And not only do I encourage that, I demand that. I demand that don't just wait for me to speak and then try to tuck in behind me and say, that's a great idea, Governor. They don't do that in our cabinet meetings, and sometimes I wish they would a little bit more, but they'll challenge me, and they'll challenge me for all the right reasons, and I really do encourage that. So what I'm able to do as governor, I'm able to listen to all sides, take in all input, and I'll listen to the Republican input, I'll listen to Democrat input, and Alaskan in general input, and I'll make a decision. And so in many ways, it makes my job easier because it's more of who I am. because I don't fit in a box very well. Alaska, I think, has a higher percentage of independents and nonpartisan than any other state. Partly because just the makeup of our state is a bit unique. Every state is unique. I understand that, but given the vast size we are and the lower population, we are a bit unique in that regard. So, as I have progressed, I certainly with President Obama when he came to Alaska, I hadn't met with him enough times. I flew up with him on Air Force One, had an opportunity to talk to him about Alaska on the flight up from Andrews to J-Bear in Anchorage. And so that was an opportunity that, again, being a nonpartisan, that was a little easier and independent because I wasn't one party or the other. And with President Trump, I had been put on the Governor's Council, Council of Governors to deal with military issues. I was recently invited to the White House with 3 other governors a few weeks ago to talk about energy issues. So I just wear an Alaskan uniform. I don't have a party association. And I think that's been to my advantage. I really has. And I think it's been to Alaska's advantage because we really are, the federal government has a major presence in our state. They own 62% of our land is owned by the federal government. So access to our resources is very critical. So it really gives me the opportunity to sort of move. It's not a matter of moving across party lines. There are no party lines for me. And so it really, I think, has been a significant advantage. So I look at the process of how we made it happen. I think that as an independent, I had to be a little more creative. Sometimes in Alaska, they refer to us as Imagineers in Alaska, and sometimes we are Imagineers. You have to sort of figure it out. If your snow machine stops at 40 below and you have to change out a carburetor, you got to figure it out. You got to make sure you do that stuff. So I had to figure it out. And that's sort of been my strength in my past, is figuring things out, whether it's on a construction site or it's a legal issue for a client. I've had to sort of figure out how to do it. So we figured it out. This worked out well, and I really sometimes people ask me if any regrets of moving over from Republican to an independent. I absolutely none. I have no disrespect to any party, any political party. I really don't. This is just a better fit for who I am, and I'm able to represent all 730,000 Alaskans equally. Because there's just no issue about what party might be with or not be with. So it's an opportunity that I'm enjoying immensely. We are in the worst financial crisis in our state's history. Not the funnest time to be governor. I am the 13th governor. I'm not superstitious, but I am the 13th governor. We have lost 80% of our revenue when I came on. So when you lose 80% of your revenue, you make some hard decisions that I think it's easier to me to make hard decision as an independent because they're not reflective of a particular party. I can just make the decision I think is best for Alaska. In my State of the State, I said, I ran for this job to do the job, not keep the job. And one of my concerns is that when there's so much focus on keeping the job and on and on, you can't make very good decisions. So when I have said when I start making decisions based upon a re-election, shame on me, and that's when I need to step down. So I don't believe in that. So that's you wouldn't necessarily have that in a party system, but as an independent, I can say that.